Hey guys, we're back with another DeltaMath tutorial video. Today, we're going to be talking about rounding numbers level 2 problems. So if you're just getting into it, don't forget to check out that level 1 video, but we're going to take a look at this one. Now, I even zoomed in the screen on this problem because there are so many numbers here. Like, look at this thing, 80,417 point, like a million digits after the decimal, and we got to round this somehow. But here's the deal. All we have to make sure we know is what the different places of the number are called. So let's look and see exactly what this question is asking us. It says round it to the nearest 100. Okay, so that's important for us to note. First off, we know that 100 is going to come before the decimal, aka on the left side of the decimal, right? Because anything on the right side of the decimal, anything after the decimal in the number is going to end with like a th, the tenths, the hundredths, the thousandths, or they just maybe say 4 places after the decimal, something like that. So by seeing 100, we know we're talking a number before the decimal. That's the first thing we have to make sure we know. And really, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through and count, where would the hundreds be? If this were a number and I was just writing 100, well, look at that. The decimal would be after that last zero, right? And look, that 1 is 3 places in front of it. So in this number, if we count 1, 2, 3, that 4 right there is the hundredths digit. So what we care about is that 4 and every number before it. So the 8, the 0, and that 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write those down just so I can remember I care about them. But I need to remember this 4 that I just put here is kind of special because it has to be determined whether it goes up or if it stays the same. And the way we determine that is by looking at the number that comes after the 4. So let's look at what comes after the 4 originally. This has a 1 right there. Well, if you recall, any number between 1 and 4 makes the rounding stay the same. Any number between 5 and 9 makes the rounding go up. 1, of course, would make the number stay the same. So that 4 isn't going to change. Now that I know that 4 is not going to change, I just get to fill in zeros until the decimal point and put in my answer. So I'm going to put in a 0 for that 1 because you know what? It's not before the hundredths place. We don't care about it. I'm going to put in a 0 for that 7. And then as soon as I hit that decimal, I can just stop writing. I don't have to fill in zeros all the way through the end. I just have to fill in zeros until the decimal point. Let's go ahead and type 80,400 into our answer box and make sure we got it right. All right, 80,400, and look at that. We got it. You can see what they did is they actually separated the beginning part of the decimal, or the beginning part of that number, the 804, the 1, kind of that key number, the one that makes the decision, and then the second half, which we don't care about at all, really, right? Let's try out one more of these problems before we end the video. Oh my gosh, look at this. 3 point, another million decimals. So what is it asking us to find? The nearest 100,000th. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of counting to figure out where it is. But as long as we remember where it starts and we know how to count, we should be okay. So this 8, that is the tenths place, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going up by a unit of 10 each time. So the tenths, and then we have the hundredths. Now, I'm not going to write it. That would take a lot of time, and you can hear me saying it. So that's the hundredths, right? After the hundredths, we have the thousandths. We then, what comes next? You got it, the 10,000ths. And now, finally, we have the 100,000ths in our decimals. So it took a little bit of counting. We had to make sure we knew how that went all the way from tenths to 100,000ths, but we got there. So let's figure this out. First off, we know that every number before the 100,000ths is going to stay the same. That's not affected by the rounding. So let's go ahead and write it out. 3.8399. Now it is that 1 that matters. So how do we figure out if that 1 stays the same or if it goes up to a 2? Well, it's the number after it, right? That's what we have to pay attention to. And the number after it is a 6. If you recall earlier, I said that all numbers between 5 and 9 make a number go up. So that means that 1 is going to go up. It's going to become a 2. So I'm going to write that in there. Now, since we hit that 2, we don't have to write anything else because that's the last number that matters, that 100,000th. If you are rounding to a number after the decimal point, you can stop as soon as you get to that number. It's only when you're rounding to numbers before the decimal point that you have to keep up with zeros until we get to it. Let's go ahead and type our answer in. Make sure we get it right here. So this is a lot to remember, but we got 3.83992. And, oh, we got that one right as well. All right, guys, if you have any questions about this, feel free to drop a comment below. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out my other videos for more Delta Math tutorials.